Welcome to a brand new DFINITY Pill podcast. My name is Alex, and today we have George from Unfold VR. Hello, welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation. How's it going?
Hi, Alex. It's going great. Nice to be here with you.
People already know who Unfold VR is. Like, people have seen the partnerships that you guys have made and the progress and the sneak peeks that you guys have shown. But could you tell us a little bit about who the team behind Unfold VR is and what does everybody do?
The team is a core aspect of Unfold VR, and it's probably the thing I'm most proud of when I speak about Unfold VR. And this is because this team that we've built for Unfold VR is been together for actually many years. Maybe not in the exact format, but we've had team members here with us from the very beginning. And we started over 6 years ago doing enterprise VR app development. And we just recently, like this year, joined the IC development, and we started Unfold VR, and now we're doing this exclusively. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing to have a powerful team working together, through ups and downs on such an amazing project like Unfold VR. And we have developers and artists. We have a project manager in our team. So we kind of cover all the bases. We're very fortunate not having to outsource specific aspects of the development. So we have two developers, Alex and Robert, and they have a background in VR development, but they were very fortunate to see that IC development is quite similar. A lot of debugging, documentation scattered everywhere. Then we have Catalin, who is our main 3D artist, and he's actually responsible for a lot of the visuals that you're seeing coming out of Unfold VR. Then we have Elena. She's our project manager, and is also helping us with community aspect and other operational aspects of Unfold VR. And then myself, I'm the founder. I have an architecture background, and I've been in CGI, for very longer than I want to admit sometimes. And I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm doing a little bit of scripting, a little bit of artwork, and just trying to make everybody more efficient in Unfold VR. And we also are happy to have an advisor that's helping us with UX and product aspects. And she has Cassandra. She has a lot of experience with the IC, and we're very happy to tap into that insight.
And you guys are doing a hell of a job, and your work, I believe, speaks for itself. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, that's what we try to do.
How did you guys find the internet computer, and what made you decide to start your company on the internet computer as opposed to anywhere else?
We found the internet computer through a project that we knew well, District. So we were kind of in touch with them, and we saw their progress. We really liked what we were hearing and what we were seeing with the internet computer, and the scalability of it opposed to other blockchains. And we actually saw the progress, from being able to serve just all the product or the app on one canister to allow it to be inter-canister calls and all of that. So we've been there through that technological progress. So we kind of realized that this is a platform to be in.
Totally. And even though people are always saying that, hey, look at the internet computer price, it's only went downhill, this technology is many years ahead. But when people are going to find out about it and understand what it does, I think the price will start reflecting that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't actually get stuck up on the price that much. We see internet computer as an infrastructure for our needs. We are not in the business of speculating pricing or making bets on it. We're in the business of building valuable apps for the community. Sure, for investors, that's a valid point, and we need investors in the space, but we're not focused on that.
I'm sure with time they will come. And when they will come, already there is going to be a lot of value in the internet computer in the form of dApps and, projects and all kind of stuff for when the investors are going to come. So I haven't really been following the VR space. I remember when Oculus came out, like how many years ago, and like has the technology advanced? Like how much has it advanced, and how far are we from actually getting into the metaverse, into a VR space, and feeling like we're in real life? Is there a possibility that this will ever happen?
Lots of questions there to unpack. And yeah, I'm very passionate about this subject in particular. So yes, I think the time will come where you will be so immersed in a digital environment that you almost can't make the difference between it and the real world. The question is when, and that when can be 50 years from now. It might be 100 years from now, but it will come because there are many practical advantages to that. But Oculus came out actually when we started out over 6 years ago. The first CV1, the first consumer version of Oculus. Obviously, Oculus has a longer history, but the first consumer version after its acquisition by then Facebook was about 6 years ago. So not that long time ago in the grand scheme of things. And we've seen tremendous progress. So tremendous progress, and the biggest progress that we're seeing right now, and this reflects to user adoption as well, is a majority of consumers go for standalone VR headsets. So these are mobile VR headsets where the chip and all the processing is inside the headset along with the display. So you have the Oculus Quest 2, you have Pico VR in several varieties. Vive has also an option, and there are more projects coming out. And the ability to render at a high definition, at the high resolution, and at the very high frame rate is incredible on such a small factor device. So yeah, there's been a lot of progress, and obviously everybody's waiting for Apple to make their move, and they're feeling that will totally shift the market as it has happened in the past. And Apple event came and went, and they haven't announced it yet, but most likely we'll see something from them next year. But statistics are a bit scarce because they're not excellent, and when they're not excellent, brands try to cover it up with other statistics that they want to push out. But we're seeing, like, the best statistics that we have, it's that there are at least 5 million active VR users out there. And out there means mostly in the US, but also in Asia and parts of Europe.
What do they usually use the VR like for? What do they do in VR?
Mostly entertainment. So there's two branches of VR use cases. It's entertainment, which can be games and a lot of sports or like cardio related activities, which you can do in VR, which are very fun. And I play a lot of experiences in that theme. But also there's an enterprise use case. And I personally believe the enterprise actually held up the industry, because enterprises, they have a lot of more budget than a consumer, so they were able to give money to these companies developing better and better headsets, and then these improvements that were made for enterprise use cases get rolled down to consumers as pricing go down for hardware, and as things progress. So the enterprise is like the army for other inventions in time, I think, for the VR ecosystem.
You think it's more likely than not that in 50 years we're going to have a VR that is going to be comparable to real life? Like you wouldn't know that you're in a VR, like similar to the Matrix, maybe?
To be that transparent, not to see the layer of VR, you probably need to tap into some neurological kind of pathways to send that signal. Because otherwise you'll always feel something on your face, and there's the haptic feedback all over your body that you'd need like a suit for that. But then there's things like inertia or other human feelings that you don't have if you stand still. But as long as you tap into like the actual brain signals, you can simulate anything. So probably waiting on Elon Musk on those. But I don't think that's the goal, because we grew up watching cartoons that were, very low quality, right? Sometimes they might have been, black and white. I don't know how old you are, but you get immersed looking at those screens, that are green when you shut them down, but you don't see them, you don't see that green when something is happening on those old TV monitors. You feel it as black because your brain makes you think through contrast that, that's a black screen, that's a pure black screen, even without OLED screens and all of that. So the brain is very capable of filling up the blanks and making you believe you are in a certain space. So you don't need to fully and completely fool the brain to make that immersion happen. You just need to fool it enough.
I personally have never used a VR headset, maybe once, but it was not a very good one. So I'm really curious to see how your metaverse looks like, and that would be, I think, very interesting for me.
We're currently working on porting the app to standalone VR headsets, so it's much more available to majority of users out there.
At DFINITY Pill, we talk more about NFTs, and I saw in your Medium article that you guys wrote a couple of weeks ago that you are releasing an NFT collection. Could you give us more details about it? Like, when are you guys going to launch it and where?
Sure. Our NFT collection is first and foremost an utility token, and we call it a Founders Edition. So you'll kind of be a founder of Unfold VR, as we're just starting up, and this launch will effectively be supporting us going forward. And if you hold a Creator Glove NFT, then you have special abilities in the app. It's like essentially buying an add-on or a subscription, but this one is indefinite for any other digital product.
They look amazing. I saw them. Sorry for interrupting you. Are they all of them are different, like one-of-one variations, or did you guys go the NFT route, like with creating assets and then combining them?
So they're all unique. We have a widely complex generative script that we designed and developed to generate them. So even though they're just utilitarian, or they're primarily utilitarian, they also have aesthetic value. And more than other typical NFTs, you can actually see them in 3D. So you can see them on the web. You can see them if you're on a mobile device in AR, and we'll showcase some of that early next week. And you can also see them in Unfold VR. As you create stuff in Unfold VR, you'll be creating stuff using your own glove, which is pretty amazing, right? So if you like a particular design, it's like a skin in the app that you can take.
Now, can you please go back to the benefits of holding a glove?
The main benefit is you will be able not just to create stuff in Unfold VR, but also mint those as a 3D NFT. And that's actually the primary benefit. Because we want to allow everybody to experience Unfold VR, so anyone can create stuff in Unfold VR. But if you want to take it out of Unfold VR as a 3D NFT and bring it in IC 1101, bring it in ICP Metaverse, bring it in any other Metaverse project on the IC primarily, but then on other blockchains as well, you need to mint it as a 3D NFT. And we will give you the option to mint a certain number of creations per month by holding a Creator Glove. And then you have a whole bunch of other benefits, such as at launch you'll be able to vote on some polls that we'll put up to prioritize features. So you'll have like a kind of a primitive governance role, and that ties into the founder kind of title. Then you have a whole bunch of other benefits. Like I said, you'll be able to experience them in VR, in AR. But another important benefit, which will come later down the road and will be conditioned by your activity within the app, is the ability to kind of turn this NFT into tokens for the DAO that will be supporting Unfold VR. The DAO will obviously come, maybe in a year or 2 years. We'll see. And again, it's not just holding the NFT. You'll have to be kind of an active member to receive some tokens there.
Will you have to exchange the NFT for coins, or you will be attributed coins for being a holder?
Most likely you won't have to exchange the NFT, you'll just be attributed coins. Because the point of a DAO is not to relinquish control. So we don't want to have ultimate control of Unfold VR. We want the control to be decentralized. And Unfold VR, we aim it to be powered by NFTs. So people holding NFTs will have the power in Unfold VR. So it just makes a natural way of giving power to those that are actually using the app. And those who are actually using the app are holding this NFT. And we'll launch subsequent NFTs that will have maybe parts of the utility of this Creator Gloves NFTs. So if you only want to mint, you'll get a minting NFT, which only has that property. If you want to maybe in the future virtual stream content, which is also a feature we're working on, you might only take an NFT that just does that, because that's the only thing that you care about. Or maybe you just want an NFT that only has aesthetic value in Unfold VR, and you just buy that. And the Creator Gloves will also airdrop some of the future NFTs.
Basically, the Creator Glove, which is the first NFT collection that you guys will release, is going to have all the possibilities of all other future upcoming collections. So this is going to be like the biggest NFT that you guys are going to release.
Exactly. It's the mother of NFTs, if you want. It's the whole grail. So in the future, like a year, 2 years, 3 years in the future, where people will hopefully use the app in very big numbers, they'll be trading other NFTs, but these ones we expect, like the core users, the power users will all have at least one Creator Glove NFT.
When are you guys launching, and where are you guys launching?
The target date is the 20th of September, this September, on Yumi Marketplace.
Can you tell us what price they are going to be minted for, or anything?
We haven't actually settled down on a price. We're kind of having a target. ICP price is a little bit fluctuating right now as well. So we'll narrow down on a price, and we'll communicate it in advance as we have it. From our point of view, the pricing will the actual value that we see for these NFTs in the future might be easily 100x from the price that we'll launch it. So it will be priced in a similar range with other, let's say, bigger collections on the IC.
20th of September on the Yumi Marketplace. Everybody should follow your Twitter to stay up to date with everything.
Yes, and actually I can make an additional announcement. We will have a pre-sale and then a public sale. And in the pre-sale, we are whitelisting Unfold VR users. They're already filling up the form that we send them. But we're also, and we'll have a few other whitelisting campaigns coming up. But we already took a snapshot of all our partners' NFT holders. So this includes District Pods holder. This includes Plethora with their Moonwalker collection, Versatile, DFINITY, Knots, all our partners. If you were holding one of their NFTs this Friday, so that would be the 9th of September, you were in the snapshot and you are eligible for the pre-sale campaign.
As long as we're still talking about NFTs, I want to ask you about, because I saw a tweet that you guys made like a couple of weeks ago with the first Motoko Mech, the #1 that you guys rendered. Like, are you guys going to render that, like the whole collection, or was it like a sneak peek? What was that?
That was just giving something kind of a sneak peek to the community because these things take a little bit of time, but it was more than a render. That was us taking the 3D model from the DFINITY team that built the collection and making it web friendly. So you can render that endlessly on the web in real time, right? So that's a 3D model you can render in real time. And actually, we already submitted to Entrepot all the 3D versions of all Motoko Mechs, all 2002, if I'm not mistaken. So we actually completed optimizing all of the mechs, and all the holders will soon be able to kind of switch between the 2D flip card version of their NFT to their real-time 3D NFT, which they can place in AR, and which they'll be able to also use in other metaverse projects. So in Unfold VR, for instance, you'll be able, if you are a holder of Motoko Mech, once this kind of addition will happen on Entrepot, you'll be able to see in VR your Motoko Mech in real time and kind of interact with it. And other projects will be able to use Motoko Mech in their own ways. I'm sure IC 1101 will have like special features associated with it, and so on.
In the last episode, we went a little bit over it, and like the animation is so smooth, the details are there, like really, really great job with that.
Yes, the main challenge is making it web friendly, because you don't want people to download hundreds of megabytes on the fly just to have a model. So internet speeds go up, technology goes up, but you still need a high level of optimization, and that's what we're skilled at, because in VR everything has to be optimized.
In the Medium article, you mentioned like the word metaverse, and for the people watching who do not know what a metaverse is, which I think is pretty much everyone, like everybody thinks they know what a metaverse is, but we don't exactly know. What exactly is a metaverse?
So yeah, that's a very big question. And I've seen people, like you said, answer it ask 100 people, you get 100 answers. It's one of those things. On one side, the metaverse is something that big tech and big companies have put hundreds of millions in. So just to give you like a perspective of the scope of this, hundreds, if not billions, the whole rebranding of Facebook into Meta. On the other side, my definition of the metaverse is a digital space where you have a physical representation of yourselves and others, and where you kind of can have very similar interactions that you have in the real life, only that you have them in a digital medium. And being a digital medium, you'll have some restrictions, but you also have some superpowers, like you can fly or teleport, but maybe you can't have haptic feedback in your toenails, right? Because you don't have such a complicated bodysuit to send that information. So just imagine it as an alternative reality that's definitely digital, and where you have a very high amount of interactions and interactivity, because in real life we do that. We interact constantly with things, with each other, not necessarily in a massive way. I think a lot of people see the metaverse, if I can't see 1,000 people at the same time in the same room, it's not a metaverse. When do you see 1,000 people at the same time in real life? Maybe if you're like ridiculously touristic spot or at a concert, but otherwise it's just a few people interacting. But what I think is key for the metaverse is the immersion aspect, because you need to have some sort of physical presence there. You need to be, you could technically have a metaverse on a chat app. You could probably squeeze in the definition of a metaverse for a chat app, but it won't be that immersive. It will be like the lowest end metaverse, and the highest end would be something that has some VR component, because you have that spatiality and you have that immersion going on.
For example, a game like World of Warcraft, is that a metaverse? Or what's the difference between World of Warcraft?
That could definitely qualify as a metaverse. The difference there is that you have an imposed narrative and kind of even though it's quite flexible, there is some sort of rigidity in what you do and what you can't do, right? So the game wants you to do certain things. In a metaverse, much like in real life, you choose what you want to do, and the game is as open as possible. So if you want, maybe GTA is a closer example to that, because Grand Theft Auto, because there you just roam around and do random stuff, and it can be meaningless stuff. It's still a core activity of the game, and you can spend your life doing that. But what GTA doesn't have, and maybe World of Warcraft has more, is this bonding and people getting together to do raids and whatever they were doing in World of Warcraft. And even though they were communicating probably more on Discord than on World of Warcraft itself, it was that bonding and collaboration happening there.
The metaverse concept wants to bring immersion on top of games like, for example, like World of Warcraft with the VR headset and you actually being inside the thing.
A lot of people will claim that VR is not a prerequisite for the metaverse title. And, I can agree with that. You can have probably a metaverse that runs on a flat screen in front of you. But I would just say it's not as deep as an immersion. And maybe a metaverse can have multiple access points, right? So you'll have people with VR headset, and you'll have people on a PlayStation or in front of their PC or Mac in the same metaverse, but they'll just have slightly different experiences. And another key component of the metaverse, it's what I've just mentioned, is the openness. And you'll also have a camp that says, okay, you can have an open metaverse without it being decentralized, and others that say, a metaverse must be decentralized. We're obviously in the camp where, we strongly believe a decentralized metaverse has much better chance of growing. Because if it's not decentralized, then it's not really open, or it's only as open as their team that's driving the development, and not that many selfless billion-dollar companies out there.
Are there any benefits to metaverses built on the internet computer as opposed to on other blockchains or platforms?
Definitely, there are many benefits to the internet computer as opposed to other blockchains, primarily because of the core infrastructure of the internet computer. Because in any other blockchain, you can't actually store that much data on chain, so you're kind of dependent on off-chain systems to keep the data. In our case, all the NFTs can be on chain. And the NFT data itself, and we see metaverse powered by NFTs because NFTs can hold graphical data that you use inside the metaverse. So you can, this idea of bridging and content from one project to another, that's key to the metaverse story, right? That's key to everybody's story. You buy this NFT and you use it in this metaverse project, but you also use it in this metaverse, and they can all communicate together, and they create kind of a metaverse ecosystem. Because you have to imagine recreating like real life scenarios, it's a huge task, right? And no one company will be able to do it, certainly not faster than 100 companies doing it at the same time and just being interoperable. So that's the beauty of the IC, where they give you the infrastructure to host all of this on chain. So all the core stuff can be on chain, even if maybe some metaverse project won't be fully on chain. Maybe things that are not persistent, they don't need to be on chain if you want them to be like execute very fast. But at least everything that needs to be persistent, like your data, your identity, your NFTs, all of those are on chain, and they should be on chain because this way nobody can take them away from you or block access to them.
What would be the role of your company, of Unfold VR, in the internet computer metaverse ecosystem?
That's actually kind of the thesis of Unfold VR. We started Unfold VR thinking about what our role would be in such a metaverse ecosystem on the IC. And we kind of see ourselves as a building block here, and as an infrastructure layer for other projects to build upon and to use us to build their metaverse projects. Because like I said, it's very hard to build the metaverse ecosystem by yourself. We don't want to do that, and I'm sure nobody who's really passionate about what they're doing wants to do that. So what we want to do is give the tools, and I'm sure others will come and give their tools for creators, for the community, and for other projects to build metaverse content. Because metaverse needs a lot of content. And you'll have teams that will build mechanics, but you still need content, right? So how many cars are in existence in our world now? Tens of thousands of different models across the years, that are still running on the roads. So if you give the tools, and which are easy to use, because that's our focus with Unfold VR, to create easy to use but high impact, high aesthetics tools for average consumers who don't need to be experts in design or anything, and they can build their own little part, they can contribute their own little piece. If you multiply this, with a big user base, then you can easily and very fastly create a big amount of content that will power this environment. So that's the role of Unfold VR, to be a building block for the metaverse ecosystem.
And I think that's a great idea. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, like this is similar to what, for example, Minecraft did, where they gave users like the blocks and the ability to build whatever they wanted. And like we've seen how amazing and popular like Minecraft got, because not because they built most of it, but because users have been given the creativity to the tools to build whatever they wanted.
Exactly. And Minecraft is an excellent example of why a closed ecosystem is not that great. Because like Minecraft just recently announced they're, shutting down all NFT projects associated with Minecraft content. And you had people, putting their life into these projects and or hours and hours, and that was taken away in a snap. But at the same time, an issue with Minecraft is the discoverability aspect, because in Minecraft you don't have a very easy way of discovering content created by other content makers. The discovery process typically happens outside of Minecraft itself, right? You have boards, you have things going viral, and people checking out those links. With Unfold VR, we also want to focus on discoverability, and we think in an open ecosystem like the IC, discoverability is kind of it's easier to develop, and it will be easier to see and access creations done by other people, and that ultimately benefits the community.
I have one more question for you. I'm actually very interested by this. How do you think that blockchain will gain adoption like over time? Like, what do you think will be the thing that is gonna bring mass adoption to the blockchain technology?
That's a very speculative question. It can be, I think, on one side it can just be time, and it can be like a rolling stone, gaining momentum over time. That's what's likely going to happen, and it will take 1 year it will be 2x, and 2 years it's going to be 2x of that, so that's 4x, and it can just be a slowly adoption because the benefits are there. Another option is it's a critical event, will trigger like a mass exodus from the fiat system and into the blockchain system. I'm sure a lot of people are very excited to see that. I don't think such a critical event will come without other repercussions. I would much rather have it a slow adoption curve. I think time will tell. We'll see what event will dominate.
Totally. And like right now, to get a perspective on it, like the total market cap of crypto right now is about like 1 trillion, like the whole cryptocurrencies. And for example, like Apple's market cap, like only one company is 2 trillion. So we're that early, to the whole thing, to the whole space.
Definitely, if blockchain gains user adoption, and you'll have more assets represented in the blockchain, the market cap will have to grow to take more share from the fiat market, which is, I know, hundreds of trillions. I don't know what's the actual value.
It was very nice to have you here on the podcast. Thank you very much for coming. Everybody should remember the date 20th of September when you guys are launching on the Yumi Marketplace. And is there anything else you want to talk about that we did not cover in this podcast?
Actually, I think we covered amazing ground. Thank you so much for having me on, and having me maybe ramble at some point about the things I'm passionate about, and we are passionate in Unfold VR. Yeah, I mean, it's been a blast, and we're very excited to see people onboarding Unfold VR. And we realize a lot of people don't own VR headsets, especially in the IC community. So we are working on web tools, kind of reaching parity with some of the features in VR. So definitely, sign up, keep an eye on our social media, and we'll announce more features coming in the near future.
Thank you very much, and we'll follow you guys on Twitter to stay up to date.
Thank you, Alex. Have an awesome day.
So that was the podcast with George from Unfold VR. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all the IC related news. My name is Alex, and you just took the DFINITY Pill. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.